JacksonSystems.com is now a UEI test equipment distributor. If you need a brand new Hub 6 or the classic DL429 or DL489 multimeters, along with several other UEI products, go to JacksonSystems.com/login and set up your brand new account today. You'll have access to great pricing and even better pricing thanks to our brand new Shop Talk 7 discount code. That'll get you 10% off on your first UEI purchase. Thank you for dropping by today for HST Live Radio. Trying to get back on track here. Trying to climb the mountain back up after being a little sick the other day. My wife was sick. I was sick. We still had the baby. The baby didn't take a day off, unfortunately, so we had to deal with it. So I've been trying to make things special, get back on track like I was saying. Downloaded a cool new app so I could have all my sounds here during the podcast. So check this out. Here's going to be our array of sounds for when we play games, maybe a little bit later in this particular show. So we have a right answer sound and a wrong answer sound. So check this out. This is our right answer sound right here. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You're a big winner on HST Radio. So I dig that. That's pretty cool, right? Gotta love that. And here's our wrong answer sound. Guys, I know you're going to recognize this. Those of you who are over 30 years old should recognize this one. Now, everybody should know that. That's Mario, man. Okay, we're going to play a little game later in this show. We're going to be on the air 20, 30 minutes here today. Won't take a whole lot of your time. Just enjoy. If you're changing a condenser fan motor, like some of you probably are, make sure you do a good job. Make sure to plug the wires into the right spot. Don't trip and fall. Make sure to turn disconnect off. Make sure disconnect is actually, they're not circumvented. Make sure you're actually cutting something off. Use your meter. All right. So I had a question the other day. Got my papers out here. Got my papers here. Had a question the other day from, I think it was Danny, talking about the Azure motor. It's a digi-motor. I don't know if that's like Digimon, like those little Japanese things. The Azure Digi-motor. I hope I'm saying that right. And I believe that's from Mars. I'm not positive, but I believe it was from Mars. He was asking me if I thought it was a good thing, what it was all about. So I kind of did a little bit of research here. Like I said, got my papers here. And basically, this motor is an ECM motor that you use to either replace an X13 motor or upgrade a PSC motor. Like your motor dies, like if it's an X13 motor, for example, it's probably like 2 years old. Your motor dies and you want to replace it with something and not lose any efficiency. You don't want to go to a PSC motor, then you can replace it with this Azure Digi motor. No harm, no foul. You still have a nice, efficient motor that's an ECM motor. Or if your PSC motor dies and you, for some reason, want to change it to an X13 motor, which I believe is ass backwards probably. That's just me. You can use this motor as well. So here's the things that I noted whenever I was watching a couple videos on it and reading the PDF on it. It comes with a surge protector, so that was a good thing. I wrote that down. Like I said, it replaces a PSC motor if you want to. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll compare prices. It has jumpers on it, which is really cool. It has jumpers on it that you can change from 115 to 230 volt. So if you have to use it for an air handler, you're good to go. If you have to use it for a furnace, you're also good to go. So that's really nice. Change of rotation jumper. It's really easy, just like any other motor. You plug something in or unplug it, and you have your change in rotation. Like I said, you can replace either an X13 or a PSC motor, permanent split capacitor. Of course, a new motor won't require a capacitor because it's basically upgrading to an ECM motor. There's a handheld programmer you can use with it. And it's really easy to replace X13 because it's like a plug-and-play deal. There's a couple of jumpers you have to make sure are right for the voltage and stuff like that, but it's pretty easy when you're going X13 to X13. And this is the particular method which I can understand. If you're replacing an X13 motor, let's say, let me think back here on my Carrier Bryant days, and you have a motor that costs $400 or $500. We're talking our cost, contractor cost. If you had a motor like that, and you want to replace it, and it's out of warranty, or another contractor did it and didn't warranty it for 10 years, it's only warranted for 5, and oh crap, it's been 5.1 years, then you could use this motor. It's much less in cost than the other motor. I don't know why it's much less in cost. I wonder about that. But mostly, I don't really worry too much about it because I'm pretty sure those guys jack everything up when it's OEM. Just call it a hunch. After all these years, I'm pretty sure about that. So it's going to be a good thing for that. Now, the price of this motor, I looked online, it's about $200. So it might be a little bit less in the supply house, it might be a little bit more, but online it was $200. So if you have an ECM motor that's OEM that costs $400 out of warranty, and you're going to have to charge somebody $700 or $800 to put it in, or whatever you guys charge. I don't want to insult anybody. I'm just going to put it out there. You might cut that cost down to $400 or $500, which will be really good. I usually put in PSC replacement motors for between $350 and $400. Unless it was some kind of weird OEM motor, like Trane had some really expensive PSC motors. Carrier has some really expensive PSC motors. Seems like every brand will have a particular motor that costs way more than it should. So it becomes especially desirable in certain cases. Now, there's some PSC motors out there that cost $200. So go figure, who knows? But this thing costs $200, so you might save a lot of money from an X13 replacement. I don't really understand it for a service replacement, especially on an older unit. Now, let's think about that. Let's say you come up to a unit that's 10 years old, has a PSC motor, and you're going to pitch somebody the idea of taking out that PSC motor and putting in this X13 deal, which will be a little bit different because there's a learning mode, which we can talk about in a minute. So you're going to upgrade the motor. Here's what I don't understand. In my mind, PSC motor is more reliable than a lot of these ECM motors, and not because the technology is questionable, but because some of the quality might be questionable, the way they're produced. I look at a broad ocean motor and I frown and I cry because I think that they're horrible. Because I've seen a lot of them fail after 1 year, and the old line is, we said it before, must be bad ductwork. Oh, say, well, hell no, it's not. Because I put the ductwork in. I size the ductwork, I hope perfectly, but it's going to be close enough where it's not going to cause any issues with the motor, yet the motor's still dying. 1 year on one of these Bryant units, a couple years on a different one, a Heil unit had a bad motor. All these same broad ocean X13 motors, they suck. They really suck. I got to the point where I didn't want to put one back in. I want to put a different motor in. I put a PSC motor in one of them and said, hey, you know what? It's more reliable. And that's how I feel about it. Some of these things have caused me to question the technology. But I know from working on GE 2.3 motors, the full variable speed motors, that those are golden. I really think they're great. I think those are great motors. If one of those dies, I mean, if people don't have money, you can give them a PSC motor. But if they have the money, just go back with the same one because those things are sweet and they're good. And the only thing that will kill them is static pressure from hell. And I mean this, you go in there, it's like 1.0 static pressure, so they're just extremely high. So let's talk about the cost in replacing a PSC motor. Back to my sheet here, you can hear it. This motor costs $200, and let's say all said and done, you're charging somebody $550. $550 to put this Azure motor in. It's more efficient, and it'll last a long time theoretically. I don't know. We'll see. Let's say you buy a PSC motor for $70, and to retrofit it, if you have an X13 there now, one of those broad oceans or something, as I roll, a $70 PSC motor, a $5 relay, and a $2 run cap. That comes to $77. Pretty cheap. So you might be spending $350. So you might save $200 on that job. I really like the PSC motor in this particular case. When it comes to a service capacity, I think less and less about efficiency and more about reliability and cost, because the unit's already looking at a shorter lifespan because it's already spent a lot of its lifespan in existence running already. If you have a 10-year-old unit, how long do you say they're going to last when people ask you? Customers ask you that nonstop, right? How long will this last? How long will this last exactly? And if it's wrong, I'm going to kill you. I always say about 15 years because I think that's pretty fair. Now, we can go sideways into a different conversation where we talk about high efficiency units, but I feel like I've done that lots of times already and how I think a lot of this is a huge crock. Just me personally. I like old and reliable. Old and reliable beats new and questionable every single time. I'm naturally skeptical about all the new products that people, try to cram up your whatever and blow smoke up your what. I naturally question all those and say, until I get proven that these are non-crap, I'm going to keep going with the old proven technology, which is PSC. But if you have an X13 motor, I do say thumbs up on that. It seems like a good deal for that. Until these things prove that they suck, which I don't know that they have, I want to say there's a few of you guys out there that have actually used them. If you have, maybe you can call in here in a minute before we play refrigeration question and answer for some sweet prizes. See how much time we have left, actually. Look over here, see how much time we've used. Use 10 minutes or so. Okay. So we have about 10, 20 minutes left. That's pretty much my idea on this motor. It has speed taps just like anything else. You can assign different speed taps. There's multiple speed taps. It has a mode where you plug it in and it'll learn what speed to run and assign a speed or torque for those taps because it's a constant torque motor. You'll put it in. It runs for, I think it was 60 seconds, and there's a particular jumper you put on. There's a particular jumper you put on, I believe. And guys, you're going to have to watch the video for this, but I'm kind of giving you an overview. There's a 24-volt power source that goes to the motor in learning mode. It runs for 60 seconds, and based on, I guess, your static pressure, it assigns a certain torque to each speed tap, and then you choose which speed tap you want. And that's how that works. Yeah, it says here 60 seconds. So that's how it works. And guys ask me about it, so I think in certain cases it'll be fine. In certain cases, not as much. I really don't see it for a service capacity. It's somewhat similar to, I guess, I want to say, I forget what they're called, Evergreen motor, I believe. Kind of the same idea. I think I had one I bought from R.A. Michael a few years ago. It's like, it wasn't Comfort Air because I think that's a unit, but something like that, had a name like that. Same thing, has a learning mode. It's billed as an upgrade. You know what? That thing sat in my shop for 2 years before I sold the motor to another contractor. So I never used it. Customers, you have this idealistic opinion of what they're going to want. Like you're going to go to them and say, you want an upgraded blower motor? And they're going to ask you, like they always ask you, well, how much is it? That's what I would ask. How much is it? $200 more? And how much better is it? It's electrically more efficient. How reliable is it? I mean, I guess it's fine. Hell no, I don't want it. I don't want that motor. Get that thing out of here. Give me a regular motor. Just put the same one that's already in it, right? That's the one it's designed for. Keeping in mind that some OEM motors cost out the wazoo for no apparent reason. Train. Speaking of the wrong answer button, we can do that right now. The train motor costs $200 for a PSC. Why, oh why, train, why? Why do you do that to people? It's not any different. I've seen plenty of those burn up. Plenty of them. 200, 400, 600, 800. Just count it. Okay. If anybody has used one of these motors, I would love it if you would call in. That'd be great. Also, I want to introduce the next segment. I'm going to have to unplug this phone. See, I'm not prepared because I ordered another iRig. It's what I use for iPhones and stuff, but I don't have it just yet. So I won't be able to play my noises today when we win or lose because I had to plug in the other phone, which is what I'm going to do now while I'm talking. And we're going to play a little game. And here's what it's going to be. Let me plug it in real quick. The game is Name That Refrigerant. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give a brand name. Excuse me one moment. Have it plugged in. I'm going to give a brand name for a refrigerant. And then you're going to tell me what the R number is for that refrigerant. And you can get a shirt or a Viper product or something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll work that out afterwards based on what you need. We have Sporlan shirts. We have Viper shirts. We have all sorts of stuff over here. We can figure something out. Okay? While we're on that same point, we did have a giveaway that was canceled on Sunday. I think I'm going to put it for this weekend and maybe roll over some new prizes into it. Stay tuned. I'm going to try to get a video out on that tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, so you guys can see. So make sure you're staying abreast of things on the HVAC Shop Talk podcast YouTube channel, and I will let you know how you can win. It got all screwed up, and then I got sick, and then it really snowballed into oblivion. So we're going to straighten that out and get some great prizes out there to you guys. So here's what we got to do. I'm going to take the first caller to call in, and we're going to play the refrigerant identification game. So the first one to call in, whoever you are out there, make sure you call in fast. And I'm going to ask you and see if you can identify the refrigerant R number based on the trade name. And if you win, you can then send me your information, and I'll send you a great prize. So I'm going to let that open up now. It's 910-970-0774. 910-970-0774. Okay. I had to unplug my other phone. It ticks me off. I can't wait to have the other iRig. I have one more spot on my mixer, and we'll be good to go. So I have 4 refrigerants here. That means 4 possible prizes. All we need is players. Come on, guys. Just call in. 910. Oh, here's somebody. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, man, I got to turn that down a little bit. All right. How's it going, Alex?
Not much. Hanging in here.
You're hanging in there. All right. You ready to play the game?
Sure, whatever.
All right. Hey, you know what? That's a spirit. Sure, whatever. That's a spirit.
Yeah, like I'm in for it. So
Here, I got your volume turned way up high. Let me do that again. Let's see. Let's say something else real quick.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh no. like the commercial. Do you hear me now?
I hear you now. I heard you real good before. It was pretty daggone loud. So, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Here's the refrigerant trade name. It's MO99. Now, what is that refrigerant R number?
438A.
Man, you did that like a boss.
I use it all the time.
Oh yeah, I know. I should have given you a harder one. Well, you got it.
You know, I do refrigeration also, so
I have a whole bunch of them. Yeah, you would have recognized some of the replacements for R12 and stuff too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just too damn good at it, Alex. How's that?
No, I've been in the game for 15 years, and most of it's refrigeration. So,
hey, I know a lot of guys have been in the game for 15 years who don't know what any of these are.
Because I know people that've been doing AC. Like one guy told me, I've been doing refrigeration for 20 years.
20 years.
And if you gave him a different combination for spark components or something commercial, he would like scratch his head where I put the wires.
See, that's the way it is.
He would go faithfully by a diagram. I am not lying to you.
No, I believe it, man. There's guys who've done that here.
If it's not like in the diagram, I told him, no, just do it this way, this way, this way. He looked at me. You sure it's going to work? It's going to turn on. I've done it so many ways. Already. I think I know. I could probably turn it on by telepathy.
See, that's the way it is. That certain guys are really good at certain aspects of the job, but when it gets to other areas, they'll surprise you sometimes because you'll have like some 20-year veteran that says, all right, well, you want to come with me and help me on this project? So, well, how do you do it? I said, well, you've been doing this for 20 years. You already know this, don't you? And you're like, no, I don't know anything about it.
I have a friend that I help him out sometimes. He's a contractor. I help him out with his refrigeration problems sometimes. So,
well, that's a good thing to do.
Even he gets stumped, and he's been doing it for a while also.
That's what friends are for, Alex.
Yes, I know that. Helping
each other. All right. Well, you won again. All right. Good job. I'm going to send you your NILOG too, which I forgot about. And awesome. What I want you to do is, the stuff I got behind me. Just let me know what you want. Text me what you want, and I'll send it to you. Okay.
You can just text like other stuff you have. Like the shirts or something like that.
Yeah. We have all the shirts over here. We have the Viper products. If there's
you gave me a Viper shirt once already. So
you want Sporlan?
Yeah, I'll take the Zoom Lock one if you have one of those.
Okay, one Zoom Lock shirt for Alex. Okay, cool, man. All right, well, I'm gonna get somebody else in here, see if we can get another winner.
Okay, no problem.
All right, thanks for calling, man.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye. All right, he won a Zoom Lock shirt. You got to remember to tell me the size, though. I got to ask him what the size is. All right, let's get somebody else in here. Who wants to win, man? Who wants to win? We have 3 more prizes to go. We're having a good time. We talked about the Azure motors. We're all very learned on the Azure motors now, which, by the way, there's 2 different sizes. Just like a lot of these motors, they come in 1/5 to 1/2. A lot of them use 1/2 for some reason, and then 1/2 to 1 horsepower. So, like a lot of those motors out there, you usually get the half or you get the full horsepower. There's not really an in-between because they're so, I guess, versatile. So 910-970-0774. We got the R438A. There's 3 more. The next one's pretty easy, guys. So the next guy who calls is going to have an easy one. And then the last 2 are a little bit more difficult. So if you want to win something, you need to get to your phone and call now. 910-970-0774. And of course, if I talk for like 5 more minutes and no one calls, I'm just going to go about my business and go eat a sandwich. Because that is all I had to talk about today was the Azure motor. If you have any questions for me, you can always send them to the number. You can text them. If I forget to read your question and an abnormal amount of time goes by and you're wondering why I've never answered, send it again because I might need some reminding. That's just fine. It happens to everybody, including me, and it happens to me more than all of you put together. So I'd be happy to answer those questions. Of course, you can email hvacshoptalk@gmail.com. I know maybe in about a month or so, we're going to have a huge unveiling of the next phase of, I'm not even going to tell you guys, but it's going to be huge. So just stick around. We're going to try to do this every single day. Another question I want to ask you guys is what time of day is the best for doing this? And a lot of guys said it was 6 p.m., but that's kind of right at dinner time. So I can't see that being the best. So if there's a better time for listening to the radio, if you listen during lunchtime, a lot of guys here on the East Coast I know seem to listen at lunchtime, which would be fine. We can probably do that. But feel free to text me anything like that. Any feedback that you have, I'd love to hear. In fact, let me look at some of my texts here now while we're waiting for a call. Jose says he's not going to make this one. He had to wait for the podcast. That's all right. The podcast should be out tomorrow. Gary says he wanted to listen live, but he'll listen later today. Here we go. This is funny. Okay, here's a great text right here. My wife and baby Jackson Systems are listening, and he keeps smiling and kicking, turning his head and looking for me. That's fantastic. Doesn't that just melt your hearts out there, guys? That's just great. Maybe I have to go up there and play with them, because now I all of a sudden want to go up there and play with them now. All right, we're going to take one more caller. You guys better call in, or else I'm going to call it a day, because I can go play with the baby, because he's already kicking and smiling and looking for me, and I feel sad. Brent, if you're sitting there texting me, you need to call in and try to win this thing, okay? Grab your phones and call in. We had one guy call in. One guy. You guys can definitely do this. We had 3 more prizes. I'm moving it down to 1 because we're running out of time now. Baby Jackson's calling my name. If you have anything you want to talk about on the podcast, make sure to send me those messages like I said. Oh, wait, let's see. Brent says, do you want me to call? Well, Brent, hell yeah, I want you to call. I want you to try to win. Get on your phones and call. He called for 1 second and then he FaceTime. Don't be FaceTiming me. Call me on the phone, man. Good Brent, always. There he is. All right. You're on the air.
Oh, did I win? Did I win the prize?
You might in just a second. Are you ready? You want to play?
Oh, I don't even know, man. I just tuned in when you were asking for gold. So what are we doing? You got to explain the rules. I need to know what's up.
Okay, well, this is really easy. I'm just going to tell you a trade name for a refrigerant, and you're going to tell me what refrigerant it is.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know any drop-ins whatsoever. I hate them all. R22 is the only one.
Okay, let me see then. Let me see. The first 3 are drop-ins, and the last one's not a drop-in, but it's going to be more difficult. So would you rather take your chances on a drop-in or go for the most difficult one?
All right, if it's not Freon or Puron, I'm probably going to lose, but let's shoot for it. Whatever you want to do, buddy.
Okay. This is the one that I deem the easiest one on earth. So if you get this wrong, you need to give up your contractor's license, okay?
All right.
Okay, all right, here we go. New 22.
Oh, shoot. It's R422B or something like that?
Dude, you got it, man. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, see, man.
Look at there. That's I've never, ever used a drop-in in my life, and I hate them all, and I can't believe I got it.
You did get it, and you made it look easy, man. You got it right away. So what's the problem?
I don't know. I don't like them. I hate them.
Okay, we're going to wrap up the show, but before we wrap it up, you tell me why you won't use a drop-in.
Because, okay, I'm still making money using R22. That's the number one thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Number two, until I start losing money using R22, then I'm not going to switch. Number two, and that's not what's designed to run in that system. Number three, you lose your capacity on the system. Number four, I don't want to have to carry 18 refrigerants in my truck.
That's smart.
I already have 4 right now, and that's plenty. That's way too much. Plus, there are 2 recovery tanks, so that's 6 tanks I'm toting around right now.
Wait, so you have 4 refrigerants now. Do you have 22, 410A, 404, and 134?
Okay, no. I got R22, 410A, 404, and I have MO99 because one of my customers called up and they had it in their system. I had to go buy a tank specifically for that. See, that's why I don't like that, because if there was a general one replacement refrigerant, I would be all over it. Don't get me wrong. But this guy likes R407C. This guy likes New 22. This guy likes MO99. This guy likes Blue On. So it's so scattered out. Pretty soon we're not going to know what's in each unit. We're going to walk up to it. It's not going to be labeled right. We're going to have to guess, or it's going to be mixed, or we're going to have to carry all this crap on our truck. It's ridiculous.
Well, I thought what you said was really principled until you said you had MO99 on the truck.
No, that's part of the reason I hate it, because I had to buy a whole jug for this one customer, and I maybe used 2 to 3 pounds out of it. And now I don't know of anybody else who has a 99 in it. So it's wasted money to me. I did not make my money back on that. It's a terrible investment.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't blame anybody for wanting to stick with 22. That's especially since the price isn't as high as it was before anyway. So that justification is kind of diminished. So I can understand that.
Exactly. So, and now if the unit's completely empty, then of course I'm going to suggest they upgrade to 410A or something like that. But if the unit needs 2 or 3 pounds, and let's just say I'm charging $45 for my drop-in and I'm charging $95 for 410A. So for $100, they're going to, but see, you can't even do that because you have to pick all the existing R22 out. So it doesn't make sense to me. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to loosen the Schrader.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're right.
If you go up to a unit that's got 2 or 3 pounds in it, that's low. Why don't I just put 2 to 3 pounds of what's going in there instead of taking it out and putting 6 to 7 pounds in it of those replacement? You're not saving the customer any money.
Yeah, I've kind of wondered some of that stuff myself. Some of these retrofits, like the guys who say we're going to come out and retrofit your refrigerant when there's nothing going on, I never understood that. That didn't make any sense to me.
No, it's ridiculous. And now, and there'll be guys who will say, well, yeah, you need to find the leak, you need to fix the leak, and then once you fix the leak, you can do that. Well, that's fine, I guess, but at the same time, that's not always the principle, and we're not always the boss, so we can't always tell the customer, you have to fix this right now. They may say, I just want to gas it up, and at that point, you gas it up, and you're still making money with R22, so why not?
Didn't know. You're right, and a lot of people disregard human nature completely. They're saying they're going to do all these principled things out there in the field, and just they have no control over it. So it's kind of funny to listen to it when people talk.
Exactly. That's fine. It's fine and dandy, and it's great to have these goals and try to talk the customer into that. But at the end of the day, if the customer doesn't want to do that, then you're not going to get paid for it. It's not going to happen.
That's right. That's why you have MO99.
Yeah. So I don't even know what did I win? I didn't even know what I won. What did I win?
Well, I'll tell you what, Brent. You know the stuff we have here. Is there anything like Viper wise that you want to try that I can send you?
Do you have any of the heat blocking putty, the wet rag?
Yeah, I sure do. Is that what you want?
I do, because I want to compare that to the solder weld hot block. I want to put them side by side and put some temperature clamps on there and see how they do. Do
it. That sounds like a cool idea. I saw you with the solder weld stuff. Now, solder weld is someone you're working with over there on the Tool Pros now?
No, they just threw in some stuff for our 15K giveaway on Instagram. They just gave us some stuff, but they've been nice, and they sent Billy and I some aluminum rods and some stickers and stuff like that. But they're not a sponsor or anything at the moment. They're what I like to call an affiliate of the show.
Oh, that's nice. That's friends of the program. I remember that from Blue Chips. He's a friend of the program.
That's it.
Well, I'll send you the wet rag, and that's cool. Now, explain to everybody, how long will the Instagram giveaway go on, and what's up for grabs so people know?
Okay, so we got two parts to the Instagram giveaway. Our main prize is a set of the Fill-Piece Job Link probes. It's the full kit with the two pressure probes, 2 temperature clamps, and then 2, they call them psychrometer probes, but they're airflow probes. And that's up till Friday. On Friday evening around 8 or so, we'll pick a winner for that. So, guys, go over to Instagram, look up the Tool Pros podcast, and just follow the directions on how to enter. And then also we have a solder weld giveaway too, which is our part 2. That is going on till next Monday. So once again, just find Tool Pros podcast on Instagram, find the posts, and follow the directions, and you can enter to win.
Perfect. All right. There's 2 great prizes. Remember that first one, the 24th. So if you guys were listening to this next week, it's over. So sorry. That's too bad.
Sorry, you lost your chance. Or hopefully you won.
That's right. Hopefully you did win. Hernandez. Hopefully you did win. So that'd be great. All right, Brent. Well, I'm going to wrap this show up, man. You win. Alexander won. Everybody's a winner out here. And everybody tune in to the Tool Pros, which comes out every Wednesday, which includes tomorrow. Can you give us any insight on what's going on tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow we're having a new episode comes out. We had Milwaukee Tools on, and we discussed the Milwaukee One Key, which is their Bluetooth-enabled tools, and how it's advantageous to the contractor to use those, and what they are, and all that good stuff.
Great. I'll be listening to that one because that's one of the things I'm like, what the world? Why do our tools need Bluetooth? But you're going to tell me tomorrow and convince me, right?
That's it. Exactly.
Perfect. All right, Brent. I appreciate you calling in, man. I'm going to wrap this sucker up, and I'll send you your stuff out here forthwith.
All right. Sounds good. Talk to you later, Zach.
All right. Thanks, Brent. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Brent Ridley from the Tool Pros. I want to thank Brent and Alex for calling in, guys. That was a lot of fun. Those of you who are watching, and I see there's a number of you watching over here because I can see the live viewership. Guys, call in. Next time the show comes in, call in. We had a few guys texting and some random questions. And we have a few things about the time period. Now, Kangaroo God says after 7 is best. And he says he doesn't know jack about alternative refrigerants. And that's okay. It's not necessary that you know about all the alternative refrigerants. In fact, a lot of them I probably wouldn't go within 10 foot of. But there are some of them that are better than others. We could discuss that at a different time. And Nick Guerrero says he is waiting on a job site. Is that what it says? And we're waiting on Nick to call in because he had a great job about working at a power plant. So he can't call in right now because the stupid dispatcher is what he says. So maybe next time, Nick, you can tell us all that great stuff. And let's see. And we have a request for the model number of that motor. Let's see if we can find the model number for the motor real quick, guys. Here, I'm online here. Let me look it up. Let me see if I can't look up the Mars Azur. Bear with me here. Mars Azur. Let's see if it's this one right here. I'm going to try to find this real quick. There are guys asking for the model number, and that is great. Okay. Over on the video on YouTube, it says Azure Digi-motor 10860 and 10861. So check those out, 10860 and 10861. He said he just replaced a ream motor that cost a lot, and it might hit the spot. A lot of texts have come through while I was talking to Brent, so I'm trying to read these off on the air. Oh, great. Nick says he's going back to the power plant this week. Give us an update whenever you can. Jeff, I will get you that information, which is not show-related, right after the show. AK Vance says, do you think R22 is going to make a comeback, seeing some of the problems with 410A? You know what? I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Tim says he's fishing. So, which is probably the best thing to be doing right now, actually. I don't think R22 is coming back. The times in the general atmosphere in the world today, as well as our country, kind of indicates that we're going to go forward with this whole lowering the GWP. Definitely no ozone depletion potential. That's pretty much out the window now. But even the GWP, because think about those two numbers. Ozone depleting is pretty much gone. No one wants ozone depleting anymore. Then you have your GWP, which a lot of the refrigerants range from, 17, 1800, like 410A and R22, all the way up to 4000, like your 404As. There's extremely high GWPs, and they don't want that anymore because that's global warming potential. Whether or not you believe in global warming, that's the atmosphere today. So we kind of have to accept it and go with it. So they're moving to more refrigerants like R32, which is 600 or 700 GWP, depending on who you're asking and what day it is. A lot of these lower flammable refrigerants, but the problem is they're flammable. R32 is mildly flammable. You have propane, which has a GWP, I think, of 1. It's practically nothing. But then propane, of course, is very flammable, so you can't use but a small amount of it. So it's used in prep tables and refrigeration appliances, stuff like that. Maybe window units one day, I'm not sure, depending on how much charge a window unit takes. And frankly, I don't know. I could look at mine and see my mini split package units. I'm doing air quotes right now. Mini split package unit. We'll continue to cover stuff like this and get more information to you guys. I see more texts are still coming in. Nick says he thinks 1234YF is 50 or 60, I think. Yeah, a lot of these HFOs, that's the group that this particular refrigerant is in. HFOs, I'm trying to remember, that's hydrofluoroolefins, I believe. These all have lower GWPs. They're very unstable, as I recall. See, a lot of these refrigerants are very stable in the atmosphere, but that particular refrigerant is unstable. So I guess it breaks apart more easily than others. Let's see. I just got cut off. There's a few more, but I'm not going to be able to address these today. I'm going to try to come back tomorrow and make sure that if you're not on the text list, if you're listening from Facebook, make sure you text me at 910-970-0774 saying you want notifications, because I'll notify you when we are live on the radio station. I have been doing them around the 2 to 3 o'clock 2 to 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time range. I'm going to try to stick to that. But of course, as time goes by, there may be things that get in the way, the baby's doctor's appointments and stuff like that, and I'll work around those. So if you're on the text list, you'll know no matter what. I will try to notify you. I'm going to try to start doing it about an hour in advance, and I'm going to try to do them at a break in a particular podcast that's on the radio station. That means if you're listening to a podcast and I'm going live in 20 minutes, I'll try to make it at the very end of that podcast so I don't break into the middle of one. I had to do it today because there's about 15 more minutes on it, and I want to keep everybody waiting. So that's about it, guys. We had 2 winners today. I might do the other 2 refrigerants next time tomorrow, so stick around for that. Stick around for an update on our Refrigeration Technologies giveaway that was supposed to be last Sunday. We might roll it into a super giveaway for this weekend. Work safe out there, you guys. And you know what? I should hook up my other phone so I can do my outro. I'm going to do that, though. We're going to do that. I have my phone hooked up. Let me see if I can do that. It would be a real shame not to. I'm going to tell you that much right now. The video of this particular show will be coming out, too, in a few days. I do those after the podcast comes out, and I'll try to put this podcast out tomorrow morning. So let me see here. Let me plug it in. See if I can get this all to work out, guys. My other device should be here tomorrow. I ordered it on Amazon. And that's all I'm trying to do is trying to get this working. So here we go. Here's Friend of Pain again, which is a song I wrote way back for the Cowboys, but I really love it. So I hope you guys do too. I'll see you on the next one. Those of us with dirty hands, plus stains intertwine, right away each morning to grind it out another time.